The heavily branded PSA gambling machine, in quotation marks, has been pushed back on. We will talk about that story today. Stick around. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It is Independence Day here in the United States. And I gotta say, man, I am one proud American. When you look back at our founding fathers and just all the things that went down back in time, it was actually pretty tremendous that we are sitting here today in the US. And I know with all the bad news that we see in the news on a daily basis, it always feels like there's something. I'm still so thankful that I was born when I was, the time period I was born in the US. So happy Independence Day to America, and shout out to our global friends as well. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Big thanks to today's video sponsor, Pristine Auction. They have got a wicked little giveaway that they're doing here in July, where they're giving away a copy of the new 2025 football game on PlayStation 5, as well as a Quinn Ewers signed mini helmet. The Texas Longhorns QB looking to try to make a run at a title here shortly in the fall. They're giving away a mini helmet, a signed mini helmet. They've got daily auctions. They've got weekly auctions. They've got even 10-minute auctions on Pristine Auction. It's a fun time. Check them out. I've got $10 off for you for your first auction win if you use Sports Card Dad code. My links to take you to Pristine are down below. Also, shout out to my buddy Al at waxstat.com. This is a free service. If you are someone that's out there that's looking to buy wax, new hobby boxes, and you're trying to figure out where can I get the best price, his website, waxstat.com, is updated a couple of times a day, maybe a few times a day, with pricing on not just new products, but also products from the past as well. So utilize the free service, my friends, waxstat.com. Also, don't forget to display your cards in style. Look at this thing. Look at this baby. SlabMags. The Sports Card Dad code gives you 10% off of your order, and we have seen a lot of orders come through recently. And I mean, you can't beat these things. Unbelievable. So check out SlabMags.com. Remember, Sports Card Dad code gives you 10% off your entire order. All right, friends, so it's a follow-up to a story from either earlier in the week or later last week, but there was a machine that popped up that was advertising a Pokemon card, a slab. It's a $50 buy-in or pull the slot or whatever. $50, you put $50 in, and the machine spits out a PSA 10 Pokemon card.
My mom never bought me Pokemon cards as a kid, but good news, she raised a degenerate gambler, so you can buy these PSA 10 graded Pokemon cards for $50 a piece, and we're going to be doing this every single day, pulling a card until we get at least a $1,000 card. Ladies and gentlemen, day 2. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Reject, decline. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, my card declined. That's so embarrassing. So
now, $50, of course. A PSA 10, it could be a $10 card you get, it could be a $100 card, it could be a $500 card, or it could be a $5 card. And so this is, I call it the gambling machine. It's the new kind of the slot machine where you put $50 in and out spits out something for you.
But good news, she raised a degenerate gambler.
Well, this thing was heavily branded PSA. It looked like a PSA machine, like the company put it out. On the side of the machine, there's a PSA 10 Charizard, and I get it. You're getting a PSA 10, so they want to make sure you understand like what a PSA 10 looks like. That's fine. But even above the machine, there's a gigantic PSA neon light thing that they have. I mean, it was heavily PSA branded looking. Well, Ryan Hogue came out with a statement, president of PSA. This has got to be one thing that's kind of nice, I guess, about social media. A lot of people will complain, especially companies like, man, we're getting pounded for this, that, or the other thing. But would Ryan and those guys have even known that this thing existed if it didn't get sprayed all over IG and YouTube because people are like, what the hell is this thing? I mean, it might have taken weeks, months, a year to figure out that this thing was even sitting out there. So anyway, word got around that there's this PSA-looking branded machine that is out there, and PSA pushed back. I mean, obviously, this seemed like a very easy one that they were going to respond to, and basically said that they are still working with this partner, but they are changing the look of this machine. It's not going to look like the way that it does now, so they're going to make some adjustments to it. This is important because look, PSA's got all these partners out here, and all these hobby companies or grading companies, they've got different partners located. And if they start getting really creative with these marketing things like this machine,
Degenerate Gambler.
I mean, for a lot of people, they probably think this is actually kind of a cool repack machine. And maybe there's going to be some people that look at this thing and they're like, we're going to build our own machine. And maybe it's not a PSA 10 Pokemon card one. Maybe it's a sports card one. I am certain of it that there's someone that saw this thing and was like, oh man, we need to do the same thing to sell our repacks. Set this thing up in a good location like you would a snack machine, you know, like a Snickers bar machine or a soda machine, and watch the repacks get sold. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. I guess with this machine too, I'm trying to figure out, I think this one was located in Las Vegas. I could be wrong here, but maybe they chose specifically a state where it's, you know, gambling friendly, or a city that's gambling friendly. Maybe. I mean, maybe you don't put one of these out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa. I mean, I have no idea. But anyway, PSA pushes back and says, hey, we don't like this. We need this thing to be changed. The quote from PSA says, these vending machines are owned and operated by an external company who is a PSA dealer submitting raw cards to PSA for authentication and grading, which are then being used for their repack business. This machine, however, is not owned, operated, or controlled by PSA in any capacity. Despite this third party's test run of their machine has unfortunately created some confusion as to PSA's involvement. We are working with the vendor in real time to adapt the look and feel of these machines to feature less prominent PSA branding and or make it clear that they own and operate these machines, not PSA. There's also a liability to this thing too. If someone doesn't get what they want, if someone feels like they've been slighted by this machine, they might look at it and say, oh, I'm going to call PSA, or this is a PSA machine, then PSA should be liable for this repack that they sold me. That was garbage. So yeah, PSA needed to come out with a statement, needed to reach out to this person and say, hey, this needs to be adjusted because this is not a PSA machine. It says a third-party company that owns and operates the vending machine is Cannon Rock LLC. We are still working with this dealer. Ryan Hogue says there was clearly a miss on the branding of this machine that wasn't in line with our brand guidelines for a partner company. So we are working with them to change it. Smart by PSA, actually common sense by PSA, really. So will we see an uprising of gambling machines out here in the world? Repack machines. This is kind of the next level. You know, you've got repacks that are being sold, whether, you know, live streaming, whatnot, or Fanatics Live. I'm sure there's repacks being sold at auction houses, eBay, and that sort of thing. And then now you're going to have mystery packs, and you're going to have these repacks being sold in vending machines. Are they going to be at schools too? Is it going to be like, yeah, you get your candy bar and you grab a repack at the high school? Is that coming next? I mean, you guys can probably tell I'm not a huge fan of the machine, but hey, this is the world that we live in now. Everyone's gambling everything. It's all a sports betting world. Everything's a bet.
Degenerate Gambler.
Everything's a derivatives trade. Would you like to place a wager on that? Would you like to place a wager on this? That's what the world that we're living in now. All right, my friends, I'm done squawking. I'm heading to the pool with the family. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.